Hi y'all, so it's time. It's finally time to talk about battle maps. I know a lot of you have been anticipating this and kind of anxious about it, so let's go over everything you need to know and then I'll walk you through 760's map. If you want to skip around, timestamps are in the description. So what are battle maps? A battle map is a map with several tiles on it. Most of these will require you to do battles, which is why they're called battle maps, but there's other tiles as well. In total, there are 5 different types of tiles: healing, story, reward, buff, and battle tiles. Healing tiles will heal a certain amount of characters. You can't pick what characters are healed. Story tiles contain story content and story content only. Other tiles will contain a little bit of story, but story tiles only have story content and they're pretty much a chance to rest for a moment. Reward tiles will give you rewards. Buff tiles will give you a buff for either the map or the boss. These are things like void damage boost or something like that. I know it's tempting to skip them, but I really wouldn't. They'll help make the boss weaker. And finally, we have battle tiles where you'll have to go into battle. So let's talk about how these maps work. Like Chapter 6 where we had the teams per tower, you'll have to put together a team with certain characters. Some characters will be required, but others you can pick. Once these characters are locked in, every card is considered its own unit with its own unique HP meter. So for example, my Masquerade Malleus has an HP of 12,738, which means his HP meter is 12,738 points. If you have characters that are buddies, they will gain an additional health meter. Hi Neil, Editor Mari here. So quick correction, you may get a buddy HP meter. It doesn't always happen, and I'll fully admit I have no idea what the criteria for getting one is. As you can see in this team comp, even though Malleus is buddies with Sebi and I have Sebi in a team, neither has a buddy HP meter. I do have other characters with this meter and I can't figure out why some have it and some don't. I don't think it's a leveling thing, but I'm not sure. And I couldn't find anything in the game that explains it. So just know it's something that can happen. You're not able to use your friend's support units in these fights. The game will sometimes give you one guest unit. For example, General Lilia is a guest unit for a lot of the earlier battle maps, but that doesn't mean you have to have Lilia as a chosen character, he's just there. But for these fights, you need to rely on your own units. That's basically what I'm just trying to say. Picking a team to go into battle is pretty much the same as it was for Chapter 6, or honestly just any other battle mechanic in the game. But what's different this time is that once the battle's over, assuming you win, the damage you receive will allegedly be split up between the team, everyone getting equal deductions from their HP meter. I say allegedly because I feel like I've had units that got more damage than others at the end, but I could just be seeing things or something. But anyways, so if you receive, let's say, 10,000 damage, each character at the end of the battle will have 2,000 points deducted from their HP meter. When a unit's HP reaches 0, you can no longer use them in that map. This is why it's important to focus on buddies, because it will help characters survive longer. If Malleus has a buddy with him, the damage would be deducted from his buddy HP bar, and when that gauge reaches 0, then it will start being deducted from his personal HP meter. And also, I don't like to admit this, but I'd rather admit that I don't know something than just make shit up. I do not know how the buddy HP meter is calculated for buddies. I'm assuming the stronger the bond, the higher the HP gauge, but honestly, I'm not really sure how they calculate that. But I still think it's useful to have, you know? If you lose a battle, all units will be wiped out. Even if they didn't receive enough damage to drain their HP gauge, they will still be knocked out and will be unusable for the rest of the map. Now, you can revive specific units with retry tickets, but because these cost gems and they're kind of rare, I would really only use them if desperate. Also, if you lose a battle, you'll have to do it again, but thankfully the damage you did carries over so the battle isn't like fully resetting. So let's say I did 10,000 damage in a fight where the enemy has 30,000 HP. I lose, and the next time I go into that fight, the enemy will only have 20,000 HP. Once you clear a story tile or win a fight or whatever, you will move forward onto that tile in the map. You will continue to do this until you reach the end. However, you can't just go through the map all at once. To proceed to a tile, you will need to redeem one piece of Mystium. It's basically the same as battle points for exams or the guest room one, I can't think of the name right now. The game gives them to you and they replenish after a certain amount of time. The max you can have at once is 7, so although you can get through 760 in one go theoretically, other maps it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen at all. Those are all the mechanics of the battle map system that you need to know, so let's move on and tackle our first map, 760. As our introduction to the battle map system, this is a tiny one. There's a total of 6 tiles, although the first one doesn't really count in my opinion. General Lilia is our guest unit, and if I recall correctly, Silver and Sebek were mandatory units. Now, I forgot to take notes on this, so information is from Kanade's Musing and Twist since they were the only ones I could find that talked about this. I will say you can't redo these battles once you beat them. You can go back and, like, reread the story and stuff, but once you beat the, like, battle, you can't redo it, so, yeah, that's part of the reason I also don't have notes. I just assumed that I could take notes on it at a later time, and then it turns out you can't really do that, so oof. Anyways, the starting tile is a story tile, so no biggie there. Tile 2 is also story. Tile 3 is a battle tile. The enemy has 45,000 HP and void spells. Tile 4 is healing, and Tile 5 is another battle tile. The enemy has 35,000 HP and flora and water spells. And finally, the boss battle tile. The enemy has 55,000 HP and fire, water, and flora spells. There's also a bit of story after the battle is finished, and perhaps a bit before, but the main thing is fighting. If you have a strong enough team, you could knock this out in one run. Twist has the difficulties for these fights as ranging from 2 to 4, so okay to a little difficult. Although honestly, I don't really pay too much attention to that ranking system, but I digress. This battle map isn't really skewed in one way when it comes to elements, so just pick whoever's strongest. You'll probably also want someone with Lilia buddy bonuses or duo magic since the game lets you use him. General Lilia's duo magic partner is Sebek, so you're pretty much good to go. If for some reason I was drastically wrong and Sebek is not a mandatory unit, which he is, I'm pretty sure he is, maybe consider putting Sebek into that team then, because free duo magic, baby! But yeah, overall this map isn't too bad, and it isn't as complex as future ones, especially the next one, which is, that's a whole thing. So I think once you get the hang of the system, you'll be alright, especially for this map. And that's pretty much it! That's all I really have to say on the battle map system in 760's battle map. This one is, again, like the smallest one we've ever had, so not like a whole bunch to talk about. I hope this guide helps you out, and don't worry, future guides on battle maps are coming, for like every single one coming, don't worry. I've started taking notes so future ones will be more detailed as we go along, and I'll try posting those a patch or two ahead so you guys have some time to prepare. Although, to be honest, I don't really think there's too much, like, special preparation, it's just building units, you know? But anyways, you guys got this, and I'll see y'all later. Thank you everyone for watching, and a very special thank you to my channel members and Twitch subs. Your support helps me to continue to make these videos. If you'd like early access to my videos, consider becoming a channel member. Patrons and Ko-fi members can get my scripts early before I record them. I livestream over on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see y'all later.